What do you know? It actually worked. I just have this on because I was playing with a chainsaw and out in the sun in Hawaii in June and July, it's a little warm. Anyway, gives me a hand here though. So, let's see if this is gonna work. A little discombobulated. All right, so I'm in the process of getting out of the state of Hawaii and moving to the state of Arizona. Jeez, like I said, I haven't. Am I ready? I think I'm ready. Here's my latest set of notes. This was from Grand Sheikh Taj Tariq Bey, his last video on July 2nd. I'll put the link below, or I'll put it over here in the chat or something. Lots of good notes here. I suggest you watch it and look everything up. Your nom de guerre, Quo Warranto, yeah. Quowarranto. What's that? Bills of attainder, writing bills of particular. Basically, what you find is that you need to let them know, and this is July 4th, so Independence Day, that you claim your estate and that the corporation, the jig is up. You know that the private corporation is a private corporation. You know about liens. You know about making complaints, bar grievances, and so forth. And what you want to do is make it so that these guys basically just leave you alone and give you your rights and quit freaking administering your estate and telling you what to do without your consent. Basically, the bottom line, I'm going to read you something I wrote, and then I'm going to read you... well, let's just go over a few of the things on here, and then I'm going to read you some stuff out of this book right here. I highly recommend this book. This is the 33 Strategies of War. This is Art of War on steroids. Of course, he mentioned Sun Tzu in here. But if you read this book right here and go through some of the chapters, you'll see what's going on right now. Obviously, our masters understand. The guys that are ruling this thing absolutely understand what's in here. And are using it against us. What we have right now is asymmetrical, unrestricted biowarfare against civilians. What we did is coming home to roost, and the Chinese are trying to say that they're more, what's the word you want, moral, that they're going to somehow dodge karma. And it's not the Chinese. Again, it's not the Chinese people. It's the CCP. And even then, it's not the CCP. It's the puppets that control the CCP, just like it's the puppets that control United States Corporation, the bar, the Roman Curio, the empire that you and I are unwittingly a part of, where we've been bonded for and surety for this corporation that barely exists. It's bankrupt, but that doesn't matter. They still got the guns and clubs, and they print the money out of thin air. That's not exactly true. They bond us and then print the money. But the idea being is that they've got all the guns and clubs and the money. So it's not about the money. It's about power and control and the ability to get us to co-create this horrifying thing that they're doing. Let's see here. So there's 5 sections to this book. This section right here that I'm going to read to you from, is unconventional or dirty warfare. And I'm just going to read the very beginning of it. Weave a seamless gleam, except for the part where I can't speak English. Do I have a cup of water anywhere around here? Anyway, weave a seamless blend of fact and fiction, misconception strategies. Let me repeat that because it sounds vaguely important. Because if you watch the news, I think you've seen that they weave a seamless blend of fact and fiction, mostly fiction. They're mostly lying to you. And I have this bell curve back here because I try to do one with a whiteboard. But basically, what they're doing is outlined in this book. Anyway, that's 23. And the guy's amazing. It's 33, right? There's 33 strategies, and one builds upon the other. But the unconventional dirty warfare chapter, the last part of the book, is exactly what's going on in the United States right now. In United States Corporation, at North America. And then also, all the little red things on it, just gems. This book is a nutrient-dense book. It has all manner of information in here that is useful to you. I like this. Take small bites. Penetrate their minds. That's been done quite clearly. And see, it's so clear. I have so many friends now that are posting, "Oh, I got the jab. We can do this," and they're wearing their masks and so forth. And if you tell them that, you better get your affairs in order because no animal lasted more than 36 months, they call you crazy. And that's just, you think this is all just conspiracy theory. They think that health comes at the end of a needle and by wearing a mask. Okay. Destroy from within. There it is. The Chinese know they couldn't take our military and 75 million gun owners. Go take a look at the size. Just go look it up in the CIA fact book. How many people in the Chinese military? How many people in the United States military? Who's got the largest military? Even with millions and millions of people in their military, they can't take the United States because everybody's got a gun. I did that. Hold on a second. I have a little file. On my computer, which is women with guns. Because, even the women have guns in this country. It's as simple as that. Everybody. So you can't, trying to take this would be way too costly, way too expensive, take too much time. So let's see, nukes are out of the picture, hopefully. So what's the recourse? Biowarfare. Biowarfare works. It's going to work. It has been working. And the biowarfare was not the Rona. The biowarfare was the tricking them into acquiescing into doing that, right? That's the biowarfare. And the more I study on that, and I'm sure you guys have done the same, the more you find that it's pretty scary. Well, actually, scary is not the right word. I'm not afraid. I have an immune system. But it's pretty amazing how many people can't seem to see the forest for the trees. That the whole idea was to trick people into getting the shot. It's as simple as that. Scare you into it. And a lot of people, as it turns out, very much enjoy the fear. It's like going to a scary movie. Anyway, that's a nice shot. I don't know if you can see it, but yeah. See, girls in bikinis, buxom babes, toting weapons, and I have a whole file. That's the latest one I downloaded, and I got to send it over in my other file and put it into a folder. But I must have 500 pictures of girls with guns at this point, and that's the name of the folder, just girls with guns. That's just our women. Then there's the guys. Then there's the Vietnam vets. Right? Then there's the children. Then there's the guys like me and my son who've been shooting BB guns and pellet guns since they were children and shooting birds in the head or shooting deer in the head, getting headshots, kill shots for food or because we're getting rid of rats or whatever it is. And then put us up against these guys that have, maybe the first time they picked up a gun was in boot camp. Who's going to win? It's the same thing as the British when they ran up against guys that have been shooting squirrels with Kentucky long rifles for, since they were children. And and then they're running around in red coats, red and white, and they were easy as pie to hit. And this whole holiday was brought to you by people with guns. Simple as that. That's a meme. But the point being is it's 4th of July and the restoration of the Republic is near. But there's a lot of shit that happens before that comes to pass. And people's thinking that... See, I got to be careful because I noticed that Cliff High made some statements. And now any of those videos that have Cliff High making those statements have been scrubbed. I fortunately watched them either live stream while they were happening or right afterwards. And then they were scrubbed. But there are certain words you just can't use, or it just the AI picks it up and deletes it. But the bottom line is there is data. The military has that data. That data shows that what they're telling you in the mainstream media is not what's happening, or not what happened. It is what's happening. But things are going to change, and when and how, I don't know. But I know for a fact that there are more guys than me that know how to do mathematics and can see very clearly with just doing some basic math and understanding that shape right there, that there's no freaking way that what they told you happened. Okay, that doesn't change the fact that we have this masquerade going on, and it looks to me like Trump is playing along with this masquerade. Because here's the thing: according to here, we'll see how good their AI is. Can they read my stuff? I don't know if they can read my stuff. Them guys, adverse event reporting system. Okay. According to those guys, the numbers that have passed just within a little while of getting the shot in the United States, I think the last thing I saw was 5,000, something around 5,000, 4,800 or something like that. Okay, with 1% reporting. So if you do the math, multiply by 100, that's 500,000. Okay, we're over here in the bell curve, right? We're way the fuck over here in the bell curve. In Europe, last I saw was like 12,000. Okay, at 1% reporting, that's 1.2 million people. Multiply by 100. So, because 10,000 100 times. All right, so 100,000. That's a million. There's like 1.2. That's just the ones that ate it immediately afterwards. And I've seen videos on BitChute and Rumble and other places where they're just going down the list of the adverse events. And now, because they've changed it to where it's 12 plus, many teenagers. When was it? Complained of flu-like symptoms for 2 or 3 days, found dead on the 3rd day. Autopsy pending. Gee, what could it be? Then if you go over to SGT report, if you go over to, and by the way, the dude from SGT report, whose name suddenly escapes me, Sean, you ain't no U.S. person. You ain't no U.S. citizen. You had to apply for that. You weren't born that. Right? You were born on the land, a man or a woman. You're not the remnants or the sons and daughters of slaves. You are son of man. You are the son of a man or a woman. Period. There ain't but one of us here. The only thing here is men with wombs and men without wombs. That's it. Some of us have darker skin. Some of us have lighter skin. Some of us have different shaped eyes. Some of the women have blonde hair. Some of us have blonde hair. Some of us have brown hair. Some of us have black hair. But there ain't but men and women here. Men with wombs and men without wombs. That's it. So don't corrupt the blood. You were told not to corrupt the blood. Corrupting the blood doesn't mean that a person that has light skin doesn't sleep with a person that has dark skin. That's not what they meant. What they meant was don't corrupt your blood. You can't corrupt your blood with other races because there aren't any other races. There's only one race here. Get it through your heads. The human race is under attack right now from others who look like us, talk like us, because they know how to jump into this body, this flesh that we have. You're not the flesh. As I've told my sons, his mother and I, we are responsible for making the body, but what animates the body, that came from God Almighty. And God Almighty gave you and them and all of us unalienable rights. Unalienable, cannot be leaned. Inviolate rights. They cannot be violated. Well, they can be violated if you let them. But the bottom line is everybody got a little too complicated in all of this. And what it boils down to is common law or contract. That's it. That's it. Now, once you start understanding, first off, you don't understand the common law because we were never taught the common law, because why would they teach us the common law or contracts? And we weren't taught contract law. So you've seen numerous times we've seen numerous times. It's not the British, it's the Roman Curio. The British are just as conquered as we are. They happen to have one of the crowns in their place. We have the other crown, and the third crown is over there in Italy. But if you take a look at what's going on, I hope you can see the bigger picture of basically what they're doing is culling the herd, removing the populace, getting rid of large numbers. Because apparently when a bunch of us get together on this planet, and see, this is the thing, they've got us mind fucked into thinking that we live in nation states. There will be no national ID card for United States because United States is not a nation state. United States is a corporation. And they trick you with all that blah, blah, blah about national ID cards and stuff, but we can't have a national ID. Try to get one. You can get a passport, but you don't get national ID because this is not a nation state. Further, understand that state courts are not state courts. They're courts per se. You can call a court, you can call a dog's tail a leg if you want to, but that doesn't make a dog's tail a leg. They're not constitutional courts. State courts are corporate courts. They are not constitutional courts. And what you need to do if you're going to hold these people to task is pull them out of the corporation and into the common law. So you need Article 3 courts, and you need to understand how that works. Further, assumption of consent. In any worldwide court, assumption of consent is not valid in or at law. They assume that you consent. You are assumpsit. I went into court and told them that I was not assumpsit, and they thought I didn't know what it meant. But figure out what assumpsit means. You don't have any duty to perform for these corporations. Period. All right. It's cheating. What they do through the Roman Curio, through the bar attorneys, through the whole quote-unquote legal system, and also the financial system, is cheating. Cheating is basically the process of transferring assets to the state. Oh, now let me continue with that a little more. I believe, where did I put that? Hold on a second. Oh dear, it's not there. Oh yes, it is. Hold on a second. It's on my desktop, but my desktop is buried at the moment. Oh great, fine, I'll find it. Hold on a second. Ever since I got this smaller hard drive, man, everything has been, it's just, can't believe that guy figured I wasn't worth it, or I didn't want to spend $300 to make my computer work better, because apparently a hard drive for this computer. Anyway, I'm about to get a new one, but in the meantime, I have a severe handicap because I can't, there it is. Escheatment is the process of, because I can't store stuff, so I have to put them on drives, and then, anyway, it's a juggling process. I certainly can't make videos, which is why I haven't been able to make, go over to BitChute, because I'd have to put the video on this computer, and I don't have enough hard drive space, and then load it. Anyway, long story short, I can go live. That's the easiest way to make noise at the moment, and shortly I will be able to make videos over on other platforms. And thanks for all the advice from all you people that were like, yeah, go here, go there. I like Rumble, I like BitChute, Odyssey. I got to look into Odyssey, but for now, this is the main stage. This is the town square, and the fact that they try to kick us out of the town square should be a clue. But anyhow, let's get back to escheatment. Escheatment is the process of transferring assets to the state. This means that ownership of an estate or property assets could revert to the lawful heir or owner should one turn up. You got to turn up. How do you turn up? You write some letters and let them know you're not dead. You're non-decedent. In the case of death, estate assets with no will are considered intestate. And when they're considered intestate, well, what happens? The state takes it. That's what they're going to do. Okay, let's get simple. They're murderers. These people are murderers. They murder. What do murderers do? They kill you and they take your stuff. Okay, so these aren't murderers with just one knife or a gun, one at a time. These are murderers on a grand scale, right? These are murderers that do it in large numbers from you, from us, from all of us, or to us. And what they're doing is they're going to kill off a lot of people, and those people are going to die intestate because they don't have wills. They're not expecting to die. Some of these people are young, in their 30s, 40s. And when they don't have an estate, you're intestate, and then the state, or in this case, the people masquerading as a state, the corporation, will decide who gets your stuff. And it might not be your children. Which, by the way, children is another word of art, is another artifice that puts you in code and statutes. Those are sons and daughters. They're not kids. They're not children. They're your sons and daughters. See, they've got us mind fucked with the language. And see, we use it one way. They use it another way. And the way that they use it is the one that counts because they're the ones with the money and the clubs and the guns. All right, let's see here. So you want to demand verifiable copies of any original contracts endorsed. Wait a minute. Yeah, any demand verifiable copies of any original contracts, endorsed consensual agreements, or any other documents or paperwork or obligations upon which they can rely to say that you're, subject to their authority. So, again, you have to, they make all manner of presumptions and assumptions, and you have to rebut those. And it's really simple: common law or contract. In this, it says it in the Constitution over and over again, in the beginning of the document, and also when it comes to the amendments, right? First Amendment, second, third, all the way through those first 10. It says common law. We are common law. This is a common law nation. They took oaths to uphold the common law. The Constitution upholds the common law. There is no, they don't give you any rights. There is no, they have no rights to give you. Your rights, again, were given to you by God Almighty. You got to claim them. You got to make basic declarations and sign your name and know how to endorse it. Again, the 3 parts of the endorsement. I've been over this if you watch the videos, right? Not just the wet ink, but the thumbprint and the raised seal. Okay. And you need to send in a bill of particulars. Actually, you can. Okay, I'm going to put the video below for Grand Sheikh Taj Tariq Bey. And understand that he's coming from the Moorish point of view. If you're not a Moor, doesn't matter. If you're Hawaiian, same principle. If you Irish, same principle. If you're a German immigrant that's been here for 8 generations or whatever it is, since the 1800s or the late 1700s, same principle. So don't get caught up in the fact that, well, I'm not a Moor, so this doesn't apply. That's not the case. Understanding Moorish science is actually important. But once you understand that you claim your birthright, you are the heir that's turning up. You let them know that you're non-decedent. What else should I put in here? Yeah, there you go. The other concept is that you've been disassociated. You've been disassociated from yourself, literally. You don't realize that what they've done is tell you that you are the leasee of this thing, of this, right? They claim it. And they claim all your labor, and they claim you as surety for their debts. And since you're not disagreeing with them, they take the money from you. And it's not money, currency. They remove currency. Let's see here. Yeah, that's already, I just said that. They have no rights to afford you, right? Their only capacity is the enforcement of treaty, and who's the they? These people that have sworn oaths. Their only job, their only capacity is not to protect your health. It's not to tell you what to do. It's not to tell you to put a seatbelt on. It is to uphold those constitutions. They have sworn an oath to uphold the constitutions. You need to accept those oaths and hold them to it. Their only capacity is the enforcement of treaty. And treaty and constitution, same thing. That constitution was a treaty. It's basically the same animal. All right. Like I said, I have many pages to go over, but I'm not going to, because there's it's the same thing over and over again. I watched a few of my videos, and basically, and the same thing with Taj Tariq Bey. It's we get variations on a theme, but the bottom line is, especially here on 4th of July, the day that we supposedly declared independence, right? It's Independence Day. They made the Declaration of Independence. You got to make declarations your own self, just like our founding fathers did. Pick a pen, put it on paper, and make some declarations. I'm going to read this to you, and then we'll call it a day. And, it's going to take me a while to get through it because I'll make comments as we go. Let's see here. And now we're going to use appellation, okay? Because, and understand, appellation, name, the name is the DBA. That thing in title case where you... Right? John... Uh-oh. Oh my goodness. Interesting. All right. Hold on a second. And I will call you back shortly. I'm making a video right now.
Okay.
All right. But be near your phone and have it charged so you can answer it.
Got it.
Okay. Bye. You can tell. That's one of my boys. He just woke up. It's clear. They had a sleepover. Okay. Anyway. Where was I before I got interrupted? John. Okay. We've gone over this many times. That's a DBA. That's your doing business as. Lowercase John Quincy. That's the man. That's the living man. You are the living man. You're not the business. You're not the corporation. And then maybe you want to put a hyphen like that. Okay. And it matters. They use grammar fair and word fair against us. Okay, so your appellation, that's this part, John Quincy. That's your family name. I man. It is I who make the following self-evident statements and declarations. I am competent and of age majority. At United States of America, it is either common law or contract law. Simple statement. At United States of America, it is either common law or contract law. You, Service Corporation, I accept your oath of office. I formally claim all my property, my estate, and my rights. I am the living man, creation of God. I have no facts or evidence that the living man, appellation, put your appellation there, is the same as the man-made corporate fiction, and then put your name in all caps there. Or you can put just keep it brief because it's going to be derivatives of that all caps name. And this in all caps or this in title case is still not the same as the living man in all lowercase. And you're making the declaration. You're making the self-evident statements, right? We hold these truths to be self-evident. Well, they're not if you don't declare them. Who claims the right to administer my estate without right or contract? Who claims me or mine as property without contract or consent? I declare no one can... This would be better if I could read English. I declare no one can, other than me. If you disagree, produce the contracts or obligations upon which you rely. Now let's talk about property for just a second. Property. Your rights are your property. Your labor is your property. Your estate is your property. Your children technically are your property. The right to your children definitely is your property, but they're part of your living estate. You don't own them per se, but they're your property. They're part of your estate. And that's what we had the big old war in 1861, thereabouts, over was property rights. And see, the Southern slave owners were claiming the slaves as their property. And then they fixed it by making all of us property of United States Corporation, if you call that a fix. And 100 years later and more, people are starting to figure it out. But this has been going on for 150 years. And every about 100 years, they cull the herd with some kind of war. And 50 years after that, they cull the herd with some kind of bio thing, Spanish flu, whatever it is. This time it was the Rona. Okay. I have no facts or evidence that the wait a minute, did I do that? Okay. Who claims the right to administer my estate without right or contract? Who claims me or mine as property without contract or consent? I declare no one other than me. If you wait a minute. I declare no one can. There you go. That's a rather important word to put in there. I declare no one can other than me. If you disagree, produce the contracts or obligations upon which you rely. I have no facts or evidence that the Administrative Procedures Act or any code or statutes of the United States, and United States is spelled in all caps. And notice I didn't put the United States of America. I didn't put, right? I just put of, and I didn't put the either. just of United States, applies to the living man, that I am, absent contract or obligation. If you disagree, produce the contracts or obligations upon which you rely. And this says roduce, so I need to put a P in there, don't I? All right. Otherwise, we, and then in parentheses, that would be you and I already told them who you was, and I'm telling them who I am, right? So this is the definitions. I don't need to put anything else. I don't need to put terms, because I told them that I am, right? That I man. I told them that I am competent and of age of majority, right? And I told them who you are. You are Service Corporation, and I accept their oaths of office. So you need to accept their oaths of office, because they all have oaths of office. All right. Otherwise, we, that'd be you and I, have no contract. We are either at common law or there is contract. Produce contracts or obligations upon which you rely. Or I'm going to assume there are none. I'm not going to put that in there, but produce the contracts or obligations upon which you rely. Notice how I said it over and over again. At least how many times? Okay, I am non-assumptive. That is, I have no duty to perform for any corporation absent contract. That's why they need to produce a contract and show me that I have a duty to perform. I have no obligation to conduct myself in any manner prescribed by code or statute whatsoever, unless I signed on to say that I was going to conduct myself in a prescribed manner, or that I swore an oath to uphold the Constitution, or I have swore an oath to be a policy enforcer, or that I swore an oath to be a state senator or whatever position it is, somebody in the Department of Health or whatever. They all have to swear oaths if they're being paid on the public, quote unquote, and that's a misnomer, but coming out of your corporate state coffers, and they get paid that way. It's a contract. They have an oath. They're indentured servants, and they do have duty to perform. Okay, so I am non-assumption. That is, I have no duty to perform for any corporation absent contract. Notice I didn't say United States. I didn't say state of Hawaii. I didn't say county of Maui. Those are all corporations. I said any corporation. Delta, right? When I get on a plane here shortly, any corporation, not just the government, the corporations masquerading as government. I have no obligation to conduct myself in any matter prescribed by code or statute whatsoever. I can, voluntarily do that, but, it's probably smart to stop at a stop sign. It's probably smart to stop at a red light in a busy intersection. But why is it smart to stop at a red light at a busy intersection? Well, an intersection that's not busy in the middle of nights when there's no cars coming, and yet you'll sit there until the light turns green. Anyway, let's see here. I am not subject to bills of attainder per Article 1, Section 9 of the Constitution for the United States of America. And I spelled that with a lowercase u. States is uppercase, and of course, America is uppercase. I revoke power of attorney from all corporate officers. This is kind of important. I've said it numerous times. You have the absolute right to give power of attorney to anybody you want. You have the absolute right to revoke power of attorney from anyone. So I revoke power of attorney from all corporate officers, employees, their delegates, or representatives of United States, State of Hawaii, and County of Maui. Those three corporations. I rescind all signatures wherein I waived any fundamental right, or where I am presumed to have waived any fundamental right, on the grounds that I did not receive full disclosure. Right? I'm not just doing this because I'm having a bad day and I'm grouchy. I'm doing this because you didn't give me, right? You have to have grounds. In other words, you have to have a reason. And so the reason is very simple, that I didn't receive full disclosure. It was sophistry. It was fraud. It was non-disclosure. It was, what was it? It was fraudulent concealment. Anyway, all right. So on the grounds that I did not receive full disclosure, I was defrauded into signing agreements I did not understand due to fraud, non-disclosure, and fraudulent concealment. But we're almost done. See, and notice how all these are really short sentences. This is the distillation of a document that's really long with really long paragraphs. And these are all short declarative statements that anyone can understand, and that there shouldn't be any wiggle room for them to try to get out of it. using their lawfare and wordfare. Simple as that. Okay. Hold on a second here. I love it. 35 minutes. Goodness gracious. All right, let's keep going. Let's see here. Oops. I just zoomed in too close. Where was I? Okay, I was revoking power of attorney. That's what I was doing. Okay, I revoke power of attorney from all corporate officers, employees, their delegates, or representatives of the United States, State of Hawaii, and County of Maui. I rescind all signatures wherein I waived any fundamental right or where I am presumed to have waived any fundamental right on the grounds that I did not receive full disclosure. I was defrauded into signing agreements I did not understand due to fraud, disclosure, and fraudulent concealment. I have no facts or evidence that any corporation or government entity can administer or tax my estate or any of my property absent contract or obligation. Please provide those contracts or obligations upon which you rely, or be held liable for attempting to unlawfully administer my estate. Notice I didn't say illegally, unlawfully administer my estate without right, consent, or contract. I have no facts or evidence that there is a superior claim on my estate or property superior to that of the living man, and then put your appellation there. I claim as part of my estate my living sons, and then or daughters, or whoever you have, put their names there, and put their names first and second. Don't need the last name, not in uppercase, not in title case. Let's see here. No one living has superior claim. If any claim otherwise, produce the contracts. If you claim otherwise, produce the contract or obligation upon which you rely. Bam. See, you're going to do the 30-30-30 with this document, right? Or with this letter, right? You're making declarations and you're giving them every opportunity to say, oh, well, here's the contract, or here's what you signed, or here's, all right, okay. And if they do, they're not going to. But if they did, you could say, you could come back with, I didn't know what I was signing. I didn't waive any rights. I never knowingly waived any rights. And if that signature waives rights, I rescind it. And you have the right to rescind it. You have the right to revoke your power of attorney from anyone who thinks they have power of attorney. I've seen that in numerous cases where people get into squabbles with their lawyers or their attorneys. And you might want to look up the word attorney. And they wind up revoking power of attorney and firing them. Let's see here. Those who violate my unalienable God-given rights secured by several state and federal constitutions, the Hawaii State Constitution, notice how I worded that, because we do have the Hawaii State Constitution, the constitutions for the United States of America, among others, will be held liable. I, American national, born in Illinois State, or wherever you were born. I am non-decedent, living man, A1 status and standing. If you are Hawaiian or you living in the state of Hawaii and you are descended from Hawaiians that lived here, you are definitely A1. You are definitely, you were here before statehood in 1959. You were here before territory. You were here, your ancestors, probably just your grandparents or maybe your great-grandparents were living under kingdom law before Lili Okulani was imprisoned. Therefore, you have A1 status, and this corporation is supposed to uphold your fundamental rights, and they don't, obviously. Anyway, those who trespass against me, my estate, my rights, or any of my property will be held liable under common law. Notice the word trespass. I claim all rights secured by said constitutions. I claim all God-given rights, and I have never knowingly or willingly waived any right. And now this is basically the wording from 28 USC 1746 is these declarations are statements. These declarations and statements are true and correct to the best of my knowledge. I affirm them under penalty of perjury and are given by my hand in wet purple ink, because this is going to be a letter written that I wrote by my hand, so there's no question that it's a living man that wrote the document. Sealed with appellation's thumbprint, unique, right? And raised seal. You're going to put LS on the document wherever you put that seal, right? Here lies the seal. executed on this day of month 2021 under God, 10 Mark, verse 19. And I spelled it out, Ten Mark, comma, verse 19. Go look up 10 Mark, verse 19. Basically says that, don't bear false witness against your neighbor. Okay, now, once you have that, and that should be basically one page on a legal sheet of paper, or maybe 2 pages, right? Not pages and pages, not 21 pages, not 50 pages. I have to pull that out, and we'll go over that briefly. But the idea is it's short, sweet, concise. Declarations, right? Go look at our Declaration of Independence. Go look at our Constitution. It's not 100 pages long, right? The codes and statutes are hundreds of pages long, right? But the truth should be self-evident. The rights that you are claiming are self-evident. They're God-given rights, and we forgot, apparently. And we ceded our sovereignty, ceded our ability to make decisions for ourselves and our children and our parents to this corporation that claims the ability to tell us that we have to do this and then we have to do this, and they've gotten out of control. It's as simple as that. Okay, so to this document, then you can attach notices, right? I'm going to attach some notices like that. If you look back in a few of my videos, I have the document from that they sent to Abbott. Does Ige think that he has any kind of protections that Abbott doesn't have as governor? Or is he trespassing? Is he committing treason? Is he committing contempt of Constitution by writing rules and orders that he can't write? The governor has no ability to write rules and orders, and nobody's holding him to task. And it's going on 2 years now. We are into our 2nd year. Florida has been open. We are just shy a year since Florida opened up in August. North Dakota never did close down. South Dakota never did close down. North Dakota did. South Dakota didn't. And she basically said, yeah, I don't have the authority to do any of this. One governor. All the rest of them had to have their feet held to the fire before they opened up again. Like I said, accept their oaths of office and then attach your notices. And your notices could, whatever it is you're doing, you might notice them that they're violating their own codes and statutes that they are subject to because they have an oath of office and they are assumpted. We are non-assumpted. They are assumpted, meaning that they have certain duties and obligations that come with those oaths and offices. And those oaths or those duties and obligations, number one, don't violate my rights. Don't step on my toes. Don't trespass against me. Don't trespass against my estate. Don't try to administer my estate without my consent. Why this hard? Well, it's hard because we all went to slave school and we didn't know that we could make such declarations and self-evident statements and that they would be enforceable. Now, here's the thing. They got all the guns and clubs. What do? Well, then you got to go to guys from the actual republic called United States of America. These guys are called United States Marshals, U.S. Marshals, and you got to tell them. Simple as that. Nobody wants to be a complainer, but you got to understand bar grievances and bar complaints. Kirk's Law Corner is a great place for that. I usually put the link over here to Kirk's Law Corner. Also, there's the Liberty Mill. Let's see here. Will it load? The answer is no, it will not load. There are many different places you can go to get help and information, in addition to what I've been doing here. But I mean, what I see now when I cruise around on Facebook, Instagram a little bit, various social media sites, people waking up all over. And the main thing people have figured out, see, it's a lot more. It's okay. So here we are at the basics: common law or contract. They either have a contract or they don't. Now, you're going to have to ask them for a contract, not once, but twice, but 3 times. Yeah, I only asked when I went to court, me being a dumbass. I only asked once. I needed to ask thrice. Where's my contract? Do you have a contract? Provide me with a contract. Where's the contract? Do we have a contract? Do you have a contract with a living man? Right? And also, when you walk into a courtroom, they're not anonymous. What's your name, clerk? What's your name? What's your name, judge? Right? What's your name, bailiff? What's your name? Anybody standing in the courtroom? What's your name? Who are you? right? You want to know my name. I want to know your names. Who are you? So I can hold you liable. And they know it. Like I said, last time I went to court, and they didn't let me in the courtroom, right? Because I was waking up. And I wasn't fully awake. I didn't know all this stuff when we started. I learned this stuff because I was going back and the more, right? And ask anybody, but ask my oldest son in particular, because he saw it. Sometimes 10, 12 hours a day, reading law books, reading books like this for strategy. Because it boils down to you can definitely apply what's in this book in your life, I promise. And you'll see what's going on right now when you get to chapter 5. But the bottom line is I spent hours and hours listening to videos, watching other people, what they'd done, looking at people that give advice. I Am has sent me to you is an excellent one. Kirk's Law Corner is another excellent one. Let me go put a couple links over here for you guys. Again, I do it every time. Let's just do this. And again, on the one I'm just about to put, a treatise on arrest and false imprisonment is huge. Ooh, and he's put a couple of new things in here. The authority of law. Look, he's putting more stuff. Awesome. There's been an update. Yeah, there's more stuff here, definitely. And then the legal maxims. I found out, like I said, I heard numerous times that AZ, I'm not moving. I'm going to go tour Arizona for a little while. There's no place I can post without being censored, especially not, right? I mean, see, what they were doing here is every time I turned around there for a little while, they were finding videos that were 3, 4, 5 years old, usually about the gate where you eat the triangular pieces of food that have salami on them, usually, or pastrami, or pepperoni, or I don't know what kind of stuff you would. Don't put pineapple on it, though. But anyway, that gate, yeah. And they were pulling my videos and saying that I was for amnesty. I'm going to be having a fun time asking them, right? Because I requested a review and they said, oh, nope, we reviewed it. And we found it. That isn't right. Okay. What words from what time stamp to what time stamp, what English words did I use that violated your policies and procedures? They don't tell you. Yeah, there you go. But anyway, the idea being is that there's more stuff there. I did not know this, so I will go look at that. The authority of law. I'm going to go read that shortly. And then he's got Bouvier's in there. He's got Black's Law Dictionary, 4th edition. And you'll see that if you find other later editions in 4th, they actually remove stuff because they don't want you knowing the words. But yeah, all those little links on the bottom there, also very good, even though they don't have pictures. And then where is it? Oh, okay. Hold on a second, because I just want to put the link up. There you go. Yes. What? Just go. Go there. So I can link. Oops. That's not right. There it is. Boom. And see, if you don't go to the right thing, there's all kind of stuff in the way or traps for you. So here is the direct link. Good stuff there. Sign up. All kind of documents and paperwork and just good stuff there. Yeah, that's going to be the way it works. I think eventually the blockchain is going to help us out. Speaking of blockchain, you guys want to talk cryptos? All the news for Theta and T-Fuel is freaking excellent. And SafeMoon seems to be a really interesting thing to look into. If you don't know about SafeMoon, just like it sounds, SAFEMOON, SafeMoon is a crypto. They plan on doing all kinds of great stuff. Their wallets and exchanges and blockchain and all kind of stuff. Right now, they're just a few months old. I think they started in March, so it's March, April, May, June, July. They're like 5 months old. But they've gotten a lot done, and they plan on being a resource for the unbanked in Africa. Look into it. It's an interesting coin, and it has a long way to go from where it is now. But right now, you see, just like everything else, the crypto market is just as controlled as silver and gold, just as controlled as the regular stock market. I mean, why is crude at the price it's at? There's just no reason for crude to be like that, other than the petrodollar is what's making this merry-go-round go round. And when the petrodollar stops being the petrodollar, the merry-go-round will keep going around, but it's going to be interesting as to what replaces it and how it works. I think that crypto is... I prefer silver and gold, let's put it that way, but I think crypto will definitely have its place because there is going to be a need for what crypto can do. And see, a lot of people like Peter Schiff and others didn't understand the value of Bitcoin, and never mind the fact that what does it take now? 34,000. Let me go look. I can go look. Hold on. T Fuel is sitting at 38. SafeMoon has 5 zeros in it, and then 3258. There's this one I kind of like is I don't own a single coin, but Hedera Hashgraph, like that one, sitting at 1966, basically been cut in half from where it was. But let's take a look at Bitcoin is now, whoa, holy cow. And interestingly enough, when I see those sevens, and it just updated. But a second ago, it was 35,77707, which tells me that they may be sending it up. They play with the numbers. But anyway, it's 35,000 FRNs to get one Bitcoin. Might tell you that the FRNs might not be worth that much. But anyway, the point of it is that Bitcoin, the usage was the ability to move money from here to there. And that in and of itself was functional enough to make this coin worth it. There's all manner of conspiracy theory and stories going around about the origin of Bitcoin and who created it and what it's for. Absolute control is what it's for. They want to just imagine if the FRN was like Bitcoin. They'd know every single transaction. They'd know everything you bought. They know when you bought it. They know everything. And then what they're wanting to do, just like the Chinese, and the Chinese, okay, there's another portion of the puzzle. The Chinese just came out hard against Bitcoin, right? Okay. And again, not the Chinese, the CCP, not the Chinese people. We got nothing against the Chinese people, just like the Chinese people got nothing against us. They do have a lot against the United States Corporation, which has a huge military, which is a threat to every person on the planet. And notice I use the word person, but the people as well as other corporations and countries and everything. We fund that. And it's all of us. It's all of us. They take a little bit because we are the surety for that debt, and they always have money. But now they've gotten out of control, where it's just trillions. They were doing like $1 trillion a night. You should, if you aren't familiar with Greg Hunter. Greg Hunter is another one where you might take a look at some of the interviews that he's done. SGT report. What is it? That's USAWatchdog.com is Greg Hunter. SGT report is, I normally catch him on BitChute, but he's in a couple other places also. There are honey bunches of people that have been kicked off of this platform and had to go elsewhere, including doctors with PhDs and anybody that has anything to say opposite the narrative. They are removed. There's your clue. That should be your first huge clue. Yeah, then there's so many, right? There's thousands of coins out there. Um, and and as I've seen, like take Dogecoin for example, whether it doesn't matter whether good, bad, or indifferent, you could have made money on that. If you bought it at a penny and sold it at 60 cents, you made money. If you bought it at less than a penny, you made money. If you bought it at 20 cents and it went to 40 cents, you should have made money. If you bought it at 60 cents and now it's 20 cents, then you lost money. But because you got in a little late and the FOMO got you. But Cliff High is talking about the fact that FOMO should be hitting pretty hard this month when it comes to crypto. But I got off on a tangent there. The point with China being coming out hard against Bitcoin looks to me like the CCP, they're playing a game, a dance, but those who do not adopt cryptocurrencies, and when I say those, I'm talking about governments and countries, because then, El Salvador comes out and says, hey, we should make this legal tender. And there's other states in Latin America and South America coming out and saying, making similar noises about, hey, maybe we should make crypto, particularly Bitcoin, one of the things that we want to use as legal tender. And then in Africa, SafeMoon is trying to be used as, wants to be used as a legal tender and be used for people to, settle debts and be able to move money around and so forth, where they don't have to deal with central banks. Could happen. Absolutely could happen, because we definitely need some solutions, because right now the strangle grip on us is these central banks and their fiat currencies. And it's all fiat currency. So having some silver and gold, particularly silver, not so much gold. I'm not a big fan of gold. I'm a big fan of gold. I'm a bigger fan of silver. For the time being, silver is probably where you want to have your money, not so much gold. According to Big Swear, and there's another one, go to Roto-Rooter. He's still on YouTube. Big Swear has many interesting things to say about the crypto market and the silver market and so on. And he has sometimes guests on and so on. I don't even know what that says. LBRY YouTube on blockchain? Don't know. Anyway, point being is that, and then hold on a second. I got to grab this other document. Sitting on the couch. See this document? Look, I'll take this document. Now, the document that I just read you does pretty much everything that this document did in 2 pages. All right. This has been filed in the United States District Court, District of Hawaii. Okay. So, United States District Court. Let's go do a little. Nope, we got to be in common law court. United States District Court, not a common law court. How much of this do I want to read? Because this thing just goes on and on. This is another kitchen sink one. The one from Abbott. It's just look, all the witnesses. We'll hold it back so that you have to really zoom in and so forth to get the signatures and so on. But see, the one thing, what's the element that they're missing here? The third element. What's the third element? The raised seal, the one you can't see. You don't see any LSs on this copy. But you'll notice on this, there's seals on every page. Signed, sealed, delivered. There's so much here. Like I said, I'm going to just read some excerpts. Here's one. The governor has no authority to make any rule, order, mandate, edict, statutes, or code that burdens the entire population of this state and or other states or states with the cost of compensation for damages caused by the Rona injections. And then it goes on and on and on. And then he talks about the official bond and so forth. Because see, what the people are trying to figure out is, you want to get these guys, get after their bonds. Find out about the bonding. Right? You are bonded freemen. They are also bonded. They are limited liability corporations with bonds. If they screw up, and they have, they are bonded because there's no way that they could pay the fines and fees for the various penalties that they have for doing the legal business of United States corporation. So if you make claims against those bonds, the insurance company will no longer, like I said, I'm repeating myself. You hear this in other videos, but the insurance company will no longer bond them, and they cannot do business. It's just like, let's say you Kirby vacuum cleaners back in the day. You had to go get a bond, and you got bonded because you go into the house and screw up with your demonstration. And there are all kinds of great stories from, if you ever go to talk to guys that are in the business, or the guy that I knew, he was a huge distributor from Kirby from way back in the day. He owned office buildings. I mean, what is it? He used to say, his name was Charles Kirksey. Can't spell hippopotamus, don't care. I can pay people that can spell hippopotamus. Right? Anyway, interesting guy who drove around in a Rolls Royce just for giggles. A lot of times he'd take his wife out to dinner and he'd hire a driver in the Rolls. And he did it all selling vacuum cleaners, and he was proud of it. Anyway, and he had great stories. You ever hung out with that guy and talk story with him? Guys like, mess up the house, throw dirt on the floor, and then find out that they don't have electricity. Other people, I mean, just all kind of crazy stuff. Guys hurting themselves. Like, there used to be this Hanley Butler kit that had like a little saw in it, and then one guy cut his finger off and bled all over the place. Anyway, all kind of great stories. But the bottom line is, they got bonds, so that if they go into your house and screw up, the guy who is probably poor when he's just first starting out, or he wouldn't be a vacuum cleaner salesman, wouldn't be able to cover the losses. So you go tap the bonds. Now, you go tap the bonds, the insurance company is going to be like, get rid of that salesman, because they don't like paying, right? Just like when you get into a car accident, they do they meet. What's the first thing they do is go out there and send adjusters to try to adjust the claim so they can pay as little as possible. Okay, they're going to do the same thing. So when you let them know that you plan on suing the bonds, you're not suing the man. You're not, right? You're suing in proprio persona. You're suing the actor. You're suing the governor. That's an actor. That's not the actual person. That's not the actual man or woman. You can sue the man or woman in common law court for damn sure. But the idea being is that the two never mix, corporate with corporate, or man with man. But not corporate with man, and not man with corporate. So there is no X there. It's straight across, right? So those two things, and they try to create joinder. Oh, and here is a great thing, a great strategy. Oh, shoot, and it's way too far in. We're an hour in. Could you please point to the person involved in this matter? Could you point to the state of Hawaii, if the state of Hawaii is bringing charges against you, or whatever it is, or the county of Maui, or whoever it is? Are they in the courtroom? Why, no, they're not. Is the all caps name in the courtroom? If they point to you as the person, they're going to have some issues, and you should know what to say when they point, right? But they won't point to anybody, and then you're going to say out loud, let the record reflect that no one in this court could point to the person involved in this matter. All right, so get them to point to the person, right? And it's not you. You think it's you, but it's not you. You are not the person involved in the matter. You are the man. You are the man or woman, the living man or woman. You are not the corporate fiction. You are not the name. You are not the DBA. You are not the all caps name. That's something that was created for you, by them, for them, so that they could administer your estate for you and extract wealth from you from the time you're born, with this and all manner of treatments and so forth, until you get older, where you're paying permits and taxes and all that other stuff, fees and licenses for your rights. Your right to locomotion is inviolate. That is an unalienable right. And yet they make you think that in order for you to locomote, you got to have a license. In order for you to cross a border, you got to have a document. Right? Your papers, please, because you can't just move around on this planet anymore, because they've got it all subdivided up into what you thought were nation states. Anyway, let us continue here. and I got to go see these guys here shortly. They're actually having a get together. See, got to go to the meetings. And see, we are not organized. They are absolutely organized. They are organized criminals who have conspired. That would be 18 USC 241 and 242, but 241 conspiracy against your rights. They're conspiring. The governor, the mayor, police departments, health departments, permitting departments, and so forth are conspiring against you to relieve you of your rights and much of your cash and labor, because your labor is absolutely your property, right? That is property right. And again, one of the main things that Tariq talks about here is that they don't have anything to give you, that you, the state's, your private property is not lawfully taxable, period. Look, it says it. I wrote it down right there. Private property, not lawfully taxable, period. And your labor is your private property. Let's see here. I mean, just numerous violations of treaty once you wake up to the fact and you can point, right? Because you can't reserve rights that you don't know you have. And if you've never read the Treaty of Peace, or you've never read any of these treaties, or you've never read the Constitution, then how do you know if they're violating the Constitution and violating treaties or violating your rights? If you didn't know you had the right, then how do you know that the right's being violated? And so, of course, you won't complain. So, of course, you stand silent. So, if you stand silent, you are assumed to consent. You are assumpted. You are assumed or presumed to be the corporate person that they name. So when in court, if you are foolish enough to show up in court, then you better tell them that you're making a special appearance. And like I said, ask them to point to the person involved in the matter. Ben Hosea, that would be me, is here to represent the corporate fiction Ben Hosea Rogers, right? I have another corporate fiction that I created. I showed you that numerous times in videos. Crouton Ramon. I made that up. It's a long story, but one of my students had a fighting fish, and she was a girl that had a fighting fish with a name that was 1,000,000 miles long, and part of that name was Crouton Ramon, and I thought it sounded kind of cool. And then I searched it on the internet, and I found that Crouton Ramon was unique. That was a unique search string. So you'll see Crouton Ramon here and there. It's me. If you ever see Crouton Ramon, it's me. Crouton Ramon. Oh, wait a minute. Let me just read this to you, because it's amusing, because it's true. I have the documents to prove it. Crouton Ramon, the name Crouton Ramon identifies a living individual whose consent is of record. Okay, that living individual, I'm sorry, is not me. Oops, where'd I go? Clicking all this stuff. There I am. Okay. But the living individual, Crouton Ramon, is not the same thing as this flesh and blood living man. So, like I said, when you walk into a court of law, if you are foolish enough to walk into a court of law, you might get them to try to identify, to point to, because they're always going to say, can you point to, right? I've been in courts where it was a rape case, actually, and they wanted me to be sure that I recognized that the person involved, and I did recognize the person involved. He worked for me. He was, it's a long story. I used to work at a radio station, and one of my weekenders got involved in this, did a lot of stupid stuff, got drunk, wound up sleeping with his roommate's girlfriend, and she was so drunk she didn't realize that it wasn't her boyfriend. That's rape. She was not consenting. She thought it was somebody else. Anyway, long story short, they wanted me to identify him, and they said, point to him. Well, I pointed to the man. See, I wasn't smart enough. Well, not that he should have gone off or anything like that, because what he did was wrong. But the idea is that I pointed to the man. I didn't point to the person. Right? Okay. They know better. I didn't know better, because back then I was completely asleep muggle, just like everybody else. It was the late late 80s, late 80s. I didn't know any of this in the 80s. I was part of it. I was just happy as a clam, paying my taxes, getting my driver's license, doing all the things that everybody does, because that's what you do. That's what I was educated, indoctrinated to do. I was disassociated from the fact that I'm a living man created by God with unalienable rights. didn't know who I was or where I was. That's changed since then. But anyway, the point is that the judge will not point to you. And if they do, whoa, you got them. Because you are not that person. You are the living man. You represent that person. And see, it's a fine line. And they try to make you think that you're crazy. Oh, that's crazy talk. You should get, right? Okay. There are numerous cases where people try to get in there and be dorks and say, oh, I'm not a person. Okay. Just understand, a man can be a person, but not every person is a man. State of Hawaii is not a man. United States District Court of Hawaii is a person. Right? State of Hawaii is a person. County of Maui is a person. So, risk management is a person. So you should let that person know, risk management, state of Hawaii risk, whatever state you're in, that they are incurring liability by the actions of some of their officers, employees, corporate officers, delegates, whoever they are, representatives, those guys with oaths are giving the county, that person that risk management is supposed to manage the risk for, liability because they are doing things that violate the Constitution, and those things come with penalties. They come with liabilities, and you are going to hold them liable. And the way you hold them liable is, one, you got to get a judgment against them. And once you get judgment, and you're going to get judgment in Article 3, because is a state court a real court? No, a state court is not a constitutional court, and they're all in cahoots anyway, right? The state courts are corporate courts. They are not constitutional courts. They're not republic courts. They're not nation-state courts that you thought they were. They are there to give you the facade, to give you the illusion, to give you the, what's the word? Oh, come on. I wrote it down so I wouldn't forget. Simulation of due process, right? Semblance of due process. They're not giving you due process. They're not giving you your due process rights, which start from point of contract, by the way, or from point of contact. They are simulating. It's a simulation of your due process rights. They are simulating a court case. They are simulating, right, that it's not the real thing. So you need to move into an Article 3 court where it's not the semblance or simulation thereof, but actual law, not a legal issue. Okay. See, and in nice big letters, right, attached there too. This is your notice. Now, here's the thing. These paragraphs are way too long for me. I mean, from my point of view. And I used to do the same thing, right? And like I said, when it came to Fruits of Graft and a couple of those other books, it just short sentences. What I read to you earlier, although I was expounding on the short, but I mean, the sentences were short, right? Because what I had done is taken those short sentences and taken a paragraph like this and turned it into a short sentence. Taken a paragraph like this and turned it into a short declarative statement where you don't need all these other superfluous words. But see, he gave notice. He's giving them notice. And it's been fun. They can't say they don't know because here it is, right? This was given to them. And the notices are there. And see, notice. That's right. All right. So what is he noticing them of? That they were served on the 28th, an affidavit of truth and oath. And it would take way too long to read all of this. But basically, he mentions all manner of Title 18 and 242 and all kind of stuff. He's giving them notice, right? General notice, right? So once you, right? So get your notices together, notices and memorandum. And again, this has been filed. And then he attaches a couple of briefs. And I may actually write a brief in support of this document. And then he makes tort claims. And then, look, notice. He gives them notice. Yeah, lovely. And this is, anyway, so what you want to do, short document, right? Like I just read to you. Let's do this. So, short document, preferably one page on legal paper with the 3 elements down here. And you are signing not on the right, but on, excuse me, when you're signing on the document, not on the left, but on the right, not in the middle. And it's going to have 3 elements: the signature, the wet ink, the thumbprint, and the seal, the raised seal that you can't see. And then you're going to put LS where that seal is. So when you copy it, they know. All right. And then go to town. All these other people are going to town. Why are you not going to town? Because you're scared, or because you don't know what to do, or because you haven't educated yourself well enough. You can sign up, or you can sign on with other people. At least you can be witnesses to other people's documents. You can find other people in your area. Kirk's Law Library or Kirk's Law Corner. That guy is up in Idaho. The other one that I put up here, which is the I Am has sent me to you. That is Alphonse's site. Log into that site. And like I said, there's all kind of people there that you can find out. There's, read the welcome page and all the, there's this thing is actually growing. Every time I come here, there's more stuff going on. Talks about the pandemic. Where is that? There's mail fraud here, affidavit of facts, affidavit of status, affidavit of claim. See, and you can do state criminal complaints, right? Federal criminal complaints, bar grievances, judicial claims, administrative claims made against IMAN. Talks about the Bar Association. Anyway, this is a great website. There's so much here now, and it has grown and grown and grown. And there's forums. They made forums for various people. So that you can talk to each other. And see, that's the main thing they're trying to do, is keep us from talking to each other, keep me from being able to make videos like this. I appreciate all you guys that are here. I've been up to 12, 15 people, I think is the most that came. But I know a lot of people tell me that they come, they listen for a little bit, and then if they think it's worth it, they'll go back and wait for it to go back up and hit 2 times speed, and then they can watch. I've been going on for an hour and 17 minutes, and they can get through that in like 30. Half of that would be, basically 40 minutes, right? So the idea being, or less actually. So, and I do it the same thing too. In fact, now when people send me videos and I can't put it on 2 times speed, there's chances that I may not get through it. But there's a lot of information out there now. There's so much information pouring in that you got to go at least 2 times speed. And then, like I was saying, and I've done this now with numerous people, it is a teachable art. Go to Learning Strategies and find out about photo reading and learn how to photo read, because that will change your life, and that will make it easy for you to go through thick books like this in a couple of days, right? And when I say a couple of days, I don't mean like 8 hours a day. I mean, you flip through it, do the photo reading, understand about activation, and the information that's in this book will be available to you. And you can do that with many, many books. You can do that with law dictionaries. You can do that. So photo reading. I can't say it enough. This is an unsolicited and uncompensated testimonial for photo reading. Find out about it, do it, learn it, and this will make your life a lot happier. In fact, this guy right here, he went through the photo reading class, the guy that filed these documents, and has found it to be quite useful, because going through other people's documents, going through the huge volumes of law books that have pertinence, being able to go through cases and summarize the cases that might apply, because there is that thing wherein judges will take a look at what's already been decided in other courts. But what we figured out is that you need to drag these guys out of the state courts. And because, the state court, how is a state judge going to rule against some guy in the state that they're all on the same team. So what you want to do is get out of state courts, which aren't really courts, they're not constitutional, and get yourself into a constitutional Article 3 court. That's what Trump was doing there. Part of the thing that Trump was doing was restoring the republic and giving the power back to the people, which is why they hate him so much. Because what happens when they can't easily extract wealth from us anymore? They might have to go out and get a real job, or they might, some of these people, where are they going to go after this is all said and done? How are they going to show their face in public? Especially those that are involved in traffic, especially those that are involved in traffic of, say, I can't say the words, but the chrome and other horrifying products that they make out of the children that are coming across our southern border. Because, they make a lot of digital products also, which are absolutely horrifying and disgusting, and they get big money for them. That's all coming, well, it's not all coming to an end, but it's getting harder and harder to do the things that they do, and they don't like it because they are criminals, and we don't have the criminal mindset. We're not criminals, so we don't have the ability to understand that, yeah, these people will murder your parents and take their house. Yeah, no problem. They'll murder you and take your house and all your stuff as much as you can, as much as they can. Right? You have no will. You have no. You are intestate. That's That's a direct ticket to probate, and some judge in the corporation will decide who gets your stuff. And if there's nobody to get your stuff because you have no heirs, well, then the state will just take it, sell it off, make some money on FRNs on that, or who knows. But the idea is this is a huge, huge criminal enterprise that is so large it boggles the mind. Like, it's hard to wrap your mind around how big this criminal enterprise is. And and then it's little o you and little o me. But you can't be afraid because we have this other thing on our side. I'll go grab it just for fun. You know what I'm going to get. This book right here. Make no mistake, this gets you out from under the horror of Babylon, and also should give you some courage and confidence to understand that you are a creation of God. That gives you untold and unknown power that you don't understand. They use your ignorance against you. And while I was over there, I just happened to grab this. This is a little book you might want to know. This is just Elements of Style, grammar. Super thin, but worth it. Worth its weight in gold. Get one. They're not expensive. You can get them on any bookseller's website. And here, I'll just hold it so you can take a look at it. Or so you can take a screenshot or whatever. Anyway, the point being is be of good cheer. The masses are waking up. Like I said, everywhere I go, people are figuring out contract law, right? Or common law. And if they ain't got a contract and they don't have a valid contract, they have agreements. And again, get Contract Law for Dummies. Is that in here? Is that on Kirk's Law Corner's page? I don't know if it is or not. But Contract Law for Dummies should be in there. And you can get it in PDF form. You can get it all over the place. You don't have to go buy the book. I go buy the book, but I mean, you can get that. See, and then you can photo read that. And then you'll realize that a contract has 2 signatures, not just 1 signature. And then you understand that in order for them to extract wealth from you, there has to be a damaged party, corpus delicti, and there needs to be not 1 witness, but 2 witnesses. Because if you go over to the Quirk's Law Corner and you read the maxims of law, 1 witness shall not be heard. You need 2 witnesses. And if you read this book over here, this one tells you that you need 2 witnesses also. Because all of our law, whether you like it or not, whether you believe that book or not, it doesn't matter if we believe it, they do. And that book is in every courtroom across this globe. It's in, especially in the Western world anyway. It's in Spanish, it's in French, it's in German, it's in Greek, it's in Italian, it's in English, but it's in the courtrooms in Europe. It's in the courtrooms in North America. It's in the courtrooms in Canada. It's in the courtrooms in Mexico. It's in the fucking courtrooms all over the place. Is that book right there? Because our law, the Judeo-Christian system, is based on that book right there. So you should know what's in it and understand that the law is based on those books. That's the common law. And the common law is really simple. And the penalties are really severe. But the common law, don't lie, cheat, or steal. Treat your neighbor as you, right? Stay on your square. I've been over this 100 times. I'm not going over it again. But if you stay on your square, they can't touch you. If you step off your square into violence or into mischief in your contracts or into disturbing the peace or into causing harm or loss, now they can do something to you, right? But if you stay on your square and you are respectful and are able to elucidate the thoughts in your mind with regard to your rights, you will prevail. I believe that. Absolutely. And it's not just a belief. I know that because I've seen it now start happening. But you got to stand up for yourself, and you got to stand up for others. And you ain't doing this for your friends. You're not doing this for your muggle idiot friends that will give you a hard time about not wearing a mask and not doing this. That's not who you're doing it for. You're doing it for posterity. You're doing it for the children. You're doing it for the ones yet unborn. That what kind of fucking world are we going to leave these people or these children if we can't stand up for our own rights? If we can't educate ourselves and understand that the schooling that we got, that was indoctrination. That was designed to disassociate us from ourselves, to disassociate us from our heritage, our ancestors, our people, our God, everything, to make you a docile, obedient slave from which they can extract all manner of wealth all day long without question, without much of a fight. And see, you'll find out. Like me, I don't think they're going to invite me back into their courts because they don't want someone that can put a thorn in their side. They want somebody that'll be just like, okay, I'll pay the check. I'll write you a check. Which was me, right? How many times did I have stupid little violations, got dragged into court, and wound up paying whatever fine it was? See, and I'm old enough, back in the day, I remember I got a ticket for driving without lights. The fine was $2, right? Now, they figured out that this is a money-making scheme. And that same, even if it was a $2 ticket, there'd be like an $80 processing fee. See, and that's the last time I went in the court. I was like going 30, or I can't remember what it was, but it was like 10 miles over the speed limit. And they wrote me a ticket. I went in the court and I paid the thing because I was ignorant. Was anybody harmed? No. Was there corpus? No. And I don't remember what it was, but it was quite a bit of money. Oh, no, that's not true. It's like $200, but $80 and like $120 for the ticket and so forth. Didn't owe it, paid it though because I was dumb. Wasn't smart enough to object or do anything or say anything that would be intelligent. And then after that, I woke up when I was accidentally driving down the street, and my tags on my car were expired. And then it just so happened that my driver's license was also expired. And I didn't even know. I handed it to her. I didn't even think about it. I didn't know that my driver's license was expired. Okay, if I was smart, I would have said, oh, that means we have no contract. The contract on this card is expired. Right? And further, is that a contract or an agreement? How many signatures on that license? 1. How many signatures on the registry? 1. How many, when you register your guns or when you register any registration, how many signatures? 1. Is there another wet ink signature on that? Nope. So those are agreements. Those are not contracts. So when you see that you ask them for in your paperwork contracts, right? The contracts are out. You heard me say it over and over again, right? The contracts are obligations upon which you rely. They don't have any. They have some agreements. They might have some of your signatures, but those aren't contracts. Let me see if I can find it in here. One fast one, right? You're demanding verifiable copies of any original contracts. They have none. Endorsed consensual agreements, properly endorsed. Do they have a thumbprint on them? Do they have a raised seal? Were you given full disclosure when you made those agreements? Why no, and no. And see, this is the thing. First thing you have to do, you have egg on your face, is realize that, yeah, they fooled you, tricked you, right? You were stupid. I was stupid. We were stupid. There's no other word for it. Just fucking ignorant, stupid muggles that are being controlled by governments that just bet on whether or not you know your name. You don't. Right? When you walk into court, they make, in fact, the insurance that they have is bets that you'll never complain, that you'll never you'll never make a claim against them, no matter how badly they violate you, no matter how badly they fuck you in the ass, you will never go and make a claim against them. That's the bet that the insurance company is making. And most of the time they win because most judges, prosecuting attorneys, other everybody in your freaking government has bonds. Every one of them, all of them, they all have bonds. They all carry personal insurance. They're limited liability corporations, and they all pay their insurance in case one of us muggles figures it out. The insurance from the payments for those insurance policies make it so that the insurance companies make bank off of these guys on their oaths because nobody ever fucking has to cash in their insurance or has a claim against them, because nobody ever makes a freaking claim. We never make the claims. Everybody's chicken shit to make the claims, right? So now you start making claims, and like I said, 1 claim, 2 claims, that judge is gone. Because just like the Kirby salesman, the insurance company is going to be like, get this guy out, because he's costing us money, and insurance companies are not in the business of making payments to the as little as possible. They're in the business of collecting premiums. And then even when they do, like back in the old days when they did whole life insurance and other insurance policies, they have huge amounts of actuaries that make it pretty clear that probably you're going to pay that insurance and you're never going to collect it, especially life insurance. And if they do give you a savings portion, you can be assured if they gave you $1, they made 10, right? As simple as that. So the idea being is that you got to get educated well enough, and you have to have enough. What's the word I want? I don't know what the word I'm looking for is. I'm grasping for a word, but I mean, you have to have enough cojones. That's not the word I wanted, though, but you get the idea, to be able to stand up and know what you're doing, right? That you're not ignorant, and that courage, I guess, is the bottom line. But you have to have the courage to stand up and point out the fact that what they're doing is wrong, point out that you're not going to take it anymore. And you don't have to be mad as hell, but you don't take it anymore. And in fact, what you ought to probably do is pray for your enemies, because I know so many people now, they get angry. And if you go watch some of Cliff High's predictions, I agree that some of these people that figure out what's been done to them, when they figure out what's been done to them, they're not gonna they're not gonna pick this book up right here and be like, oh, you're right, all revenge is yours. They're going to be mad as hell. And these people are your countrymen, as you all know, are some of the most well-armed citizens on the planet. And I don't know what's going to happen, but I don't think it's going to be peaceful and quiet. And that when they figure out that there is no reversing what some of these things have done. And I'm not going to get into it. I don't have to talk about it here. You can go find it on Rumble. You can find it on Odyssey. You can Dell large Arball is talking about it. If you don't know who I'm talking about, it's a really big, like huge tree, like a redwood. Anyway, Dell, among others, and he has many other doctors and other medical professionals that have been screaming the alarm for more than a year now and falling on deaf ears. And now people are starting to find out, oh, fuck, right? 82%. What number is that? 82% is the number of I can't think of a way to disguise that word. So here, let me spell it out. It has gotten ridiculous. It's a euphemism for dead baby. But 82% of the women that have done that have ended up with that. And then I had this person there, well, it's not really because, if it's after 20 weeks, no, the bottom line is they're sterilizing and getting rid of these lines. You have to understand, you are the jewel, right? The jewel in the Nile, that's you. The fifth element, that's you. What's that fifth element? It's your blood. Your blood has DNA in it. That DNA, we are cut off from about 90% of that DNA, but that DNA is everything. All the whole freaking thing is, and the thing to which I refer is the everything. The is encoded in you, in your blood. They're corrupting your blood. They're making you patentable. They are giving you a simple IQ test. And if you fail this simple IQ test, it comes with huge ramifications. One of them is you will be eventually, within probably 36 months, removed from the prime material plane and removed to another plane of existence. I know a lot of people don't believe that there's any kind of life after death. I don't believe, I know. Don't ask me how, but I know. I know there's no question in my mind, because I've had personal experience with the fact that this isn't it on more than one occasion. And I've talked to other people who have also been in similar situation. But the bottom line is, what has happened is a choice was given. Many of your friends chose widely, they unwisely, and they chose this path. And those of us that are on this path, the one that nurtures children, doesn't harm children, are going to be relieved of the ones that chose poorly. And some of the ones that chose poorly, I am very, very sad about. I mean, I can't get over some of the people that are proud of it. Like, I got mine, you should get yours, and right? Oh my God. Anyway, and it blows my mind that these people can not understand what they've done to themselves. And once they do figure out, and Cliff High and others are saying that it's probably this month or next, or we're getting close to it, where they start figuring out what happened, they're going to be mad. Get the fuck out of their way. Like I said, we have high penetration rate here in this state, and I want to go to a state where the penetration rate isn't so high and where I can get in my car and get away from it, because there's not going to be any getting away from it here. These people are going to be just incensed when they figure out that all of these people, their loved ones, were tricked. But see, in my opinion, it wasn't tricked. They're just stupid. But the idea is that either way, they were coerced. They weren't given full disclosure. They were trusting. They used that trust. They used the fact that these people are not so much as evil as ignorant, trusting, innocent, I think is the word. And see, this is the thing. When they lose their innocence, they're going to be 10 times pissed, because they would never do such things. We would never do such. There are people, like I said, I don't like them at all, but I wouldn't have killed them. Right? And I certainly wouldn't have killed them this way. Oh my God, the way they, Anyway, but the idea being is that they have absolutely made it so that quite a few of these people, and we're already at what, 2 million? Just looking at the bears, and then multiplying by 100, because less than 1% of these people. And you can go on Greg Hunter. I'm not the only one saying this. There are many people saying that it's less than 1% people report any kind of adverse reaction to anything. So you multiply by 100. We're close to 2 million. That's the beginning of the bell curve over here, right? And like I said, it's a bell curve. You guys need to learn spin, and you got to learn about bell curves. But this bell curve, see, I didn't label it. Fuck. Do I not have a? Yes, I do. Right here. Oh shit. We have little kids, and obviously some little child spilled some stuff on this because it's sticky. Anyway, it's a bell curve. That's a terrible bell curve. All right, that axis is mortality. This axis is time. And guess what? There's a finite marker on the time, which is about 36 months. I believe it's 1065 is the maximum that this goes out. So you get that we are in the beginning of this bell curve. We're in the people that are, that had the most severe adverse reactions at the very beginning. They just died. And now we're going to have all these people. And when they get up here and when they start dropping, it's going to be anything but. It was this, it was that. It will be anything but the injection that they took. And then it'll come, and then we'll be done. And anybody and that's looking like, according to some estimates, 1 billion, 1 out of 7, maybe even 2 billion, 2 out of 7 that they're going to get. Because it's apparently spreadable and sheddable. So, like I said, let's just go with 1B. Do the math. What's 5%? Let's say 90%, 95%. Let's say 97%. Let's go with 3%. I'm not going to do the math for you. What's 3% of 1 billion? That's a lot of pissed off Mongols. Right? Even if the other 97% are absolutely docile, go quietly into the night. Oh, shucks, I should have known better. Okay, well, right? Because I actually talked to one girl. She goes, what did she say? She said, well, if I'm going down, all my friends are going down, and we'll all go down together. She literally said that. That was her excuse. Like when I said, what were you thinking? Right? Well, and I can show you the survivability rates and all that kind of stuff. But anyway, the bottom line is that if just 3% blow their minds, if just 3% blow a fuse and decide that they're going to take some vengeance, despite what it says in this book, we got some issues. And I think it's going to, right? Because there are billions of us. There are only, quote unquote, thousands of them. And the quote unquote was for the them. Who's the them? The others, the ones that look like us, talk like us, can jump into a body like us, but they ain't us. They have a just exactly like in oh come on, the movie with the blue guys and the unobtainium, Avatar, because this basically is an Avatar. People have started to figure out this is basically a simulated video game, but the simulation, that's not the right word, because simulation makes you think it's fake, and it's not fake. It's obviously pretty freaking real, pretty solid. If you burn this, it hurts. If you cut this, it hurts. If you say mean things to it, it hurts. If you stop loving it after you thought you had an agreement where you were going to love each other forever, that hurts. And you can't even describe that kind of pain. And that's the worst kind of pain. I'd much rather get punched in the face than have a heartache. And watching your children have heartaches, anybody that has children and sees that that happen to your sons and daughters, your heart aches for them because their heart is aching. Puppy love is the strongest love, right? But I mean, okay, those people, I'm telling you, are not going quietly into the night. They've been hurt. The reason why they've been hurt is through their own Philistine pig ignorance, but it doesn't change the fact that they're hurt. It doesn't change the fact that it's loved ones that they're going to be burying and that they're going to naturally want vengeance. Thomas 42, I would admonish you that the Christ, which is a consciousness, not some dude, but the Christ, tells you that, first off, all vengeance is mine. It is not. It's not. In fact, Christ doesn't tell you that it's his. It's the Father, right? Okay, the Creator. That's who gets the vengeance. That's karma. That's they right? Okay, now it also tells you, Thomas 42, direct words from Jesus. Become the passers-by, not become the soldiers of God that take vengeance on these horrifying demons. There's no other word for them. You don't have to. All you got to do, I'm confident, is sit back, right, and watch, because that 3% is going to be more than enough to change this world for the better. And the way karma works, I don't pretend to understand or how or why, but I think I kind of sort of get the fact that the play that we're watching or the thing that we're involved in, things are about to get a lot more interesting, because if you believe, and I do, that the creation is co-creation, we co-create with each other, we will know, and the Creator and the divine and the bigger thing, it's all of us all together making this world that we're in. I'm not one of those guys that believes that if you're not looking at the moon, it doesn't exist, like Deepak Chopra, but I am one of those people that does absolutely believe that we co-create in this reality. Who's going to be gone soon? The muggles that believe in fear porn, that regurgitate just the most ridiculous propaganda, that will tell you the opposite of the truth as if it was the truth because they saw it on TV or watched it on whatever news media outlet. I mean, because I'm at the point now, I only watch every once in a very great while, generally snippets here and there. And they tell you the exact opposite of what's true. Like the exact opposite of what's true. Anyhow, and it's painful. I mean, and these muggles repeat it like it's the gospel, and it's not the gospel. They will say the most outrageous and stupid things about climate change, about climate emergencies, about the effectiveness and safety, about on and on. Okay, those guys are going to be gone soon. A little breezy. Those guys are going to be gone very shortly. They won't be here anymore. So we will be co-creating in this reality without fear porn loving muggles. I don't think that's going to be such a bad thing. But at the same time, it's difficult because I can't get over some of the people. I've known these people since we were children who are all, I'm fully, can't say the word, right? But you know what I'm talking about. Okay, I'm telling you, those people are going to freak the fuck out. What do we got going on over here? Wow, look at it. Like, holy crap. I lost control. You guys were good for a while, not distracting me, and now you're having a fun time. All right, let's see what it says over here. Yep. Muzzled muggles. But yeah, go check out what some of these people are doing. Oh yeah, we're fucked. That see, math is a thing. Which one? Yeah, okay, let's talk about that for just a second and then we're gonna quit. All right. We are moving from Pisces to Aquarius. Can we all agree on that? They put huge monoliths and not monoliths, megaliths and structures to remind us that every 12,000 years, let's take this thing. Santos, I can't remember his name. Santos Bonifici or whatever his name is. Okay. So you take this zodiac and you cut it. Oh God, not even close. And it cracks me up that I know what little kid did this to. Anyway, go take a paper towel and some alcohol for this. All right, this is supposed to be cut. Oh, got it pretty well. Into 12 parts. The Chinese do it differently, but in all 12 of these, there are 2 parts. We're going from here to here. What we're doing is we're going from the Pisces to the Aquarius, where we carry our own water, where you get your own information, where we don't do anything in schools anymore. The light of this is shining on this, and all the cockroaches are scattering because all these different traffickers of children and guns and drugs and traffickers in general, slavers, the light is being shined on them by the consciousness, and the collective unconsciousness is figuring out, wait a minute, that guy not crazy, right? Wait a minute. These people have been telling you this for quite a while now, and it turns out to be true that, the reason why we have such a mess on our southern border is because they want those children to make all manner of physical and digital products from them for the sick, perverted, disgusting individuals that will buy that thing and will pay large sums of money for it. Okay. The power structure that was set up by these Pharisees, by these people that try to trick you into thinking that you're only here once and it's all an accident and there's no God and there's no afterlife and there's nothing and you might as well get yours now. And those that pray down and bend their knee to Lucifer and Satan and Baal and Moloch and other demons of note that basically are the many faces of the dark side of Saturn. See, because what you understand is it's 2 sides of one coin. I prefer the one side, the Jesus, the Christ consciousness, and the other side of the coin is the Luciferian, the dark consciousness. But it's one coin. But the idea being is that as we move into Pisces, their power structure is disappearing. Their power structure is fading. Why? Because the consciousness is rising, because people are becoming aware of their disgusting and nefarious deeds, and they won't let it stand. And see, so many people completely unaware, right? Because you would never think of it. It wouldn't cross your mind. It's beyond your comprehension. It's beyond your ability to understand, because you would never think these thoughts. It would never occur to you to do some of the things that these people do every fucking day. And then when it finally hits you that these people actually exist, okay. So now these people have taken the extra step because they're afraid of us. They are definitely afraid of us. They're not afraid of any one of us, but they're afraid of all of us together. They decided to start calling the herd, and they didn't have enough of the mind control to get everybody. They didn't get me. They didn't get a lot of people on this scroll. They didn't get the 10 of you that are watching here, or maybe they did, but now you've woken up, and now you realize, we should probably do something about this, right? And my response is, you don't have to do anything. Those people that have done these things to themselves will take care of this whole thing. Now all we got to do is educate them and let them know, who it is they want to take their wrath out. So they don't wind up striking at the branches. They wind up going for the roots. Who are the roots? Well, the roots aren't the people that gave you the shot, first off. They're just as ignorant and stupid as, right, fuck all. They are just as deceived. So you don't want to go and harm the deceived. You want to harm the deceivers, those that know, right? Yep, there you go. Every 12,000 years, 12,500 years, thereabouts. Yep, and we are moving into the age of Aquarius. This age lasts for another 2, and then we go back around, and the next time we're going to have this will be, and it seems to be get off of spirituality and Sufi goofy new age crap and just go straight hard physics, and suns tend to micronova on a continuous cycle. And our sun seems to do it about every 12,500 years, thereabouts. And our ancestors knew this, and they left us all kind of inscription and encoding to warn us in advance. And in the last 200 years, the same people that are making people do this took that knowledge and hid it as well as they could from us, because if you knew that the changes were coming, you might prepare. But the changes are coming, and we're not prepared. You've got about 25 years. 2046 is the best date that I come up with. Maybe 2037, there'll be some preliminary shocks. Like, it's not an all one-time event. And then, I have pictures of, or actually I can just send you instead to suspicious observers here on YouTube. They did one video where they tried to figure out where the new equator was going to be, because what seems to happen, and I have evidence for this that I've seen with my own eyes, I've touched it even. There's a stalagmite in a cave in Oregon that does that. Actually, it does that. Well, wait a minute. It's that, and it does that, and then it does that. There you go. So how does a stalagmite, which is caused by dripping water that goes like that, wind up with a 90-degree bend in it? I can take a picture of it and show you. I'm planning on getting to the mainland here soon. And it's one. In all the stalagmites that are there, there's one of them that does this. And I just looked at that and went, oh, shit. Because I had already read this information about polar shift and so forth. So if the Earth does turn on its side and then change rotation, that's going to make a mess on the surface for those of us that are surface dwellers and are used to it going one way pretty consistently. Anyway, but you can read in this book. It talks about it. In this book, everybody has a great flood story. Everybody. Other people talk about the people that come up from under the ground and so on. Anyway, the idea being is that this knowledge and information seems to have been hidden from us. Suspicious Observers talks about what happens with the Great Reset. This is also part of that Great Reset, not the one that the bankers are talking about. Okay, so now, if you have this knowledge, does it matter to them? Okay, it does. Okay, let me preface this by saying, yes, it does to me, but to them, or to people that have the really long view mindset, does it matter if they wipe out a couple of billion muggles? Especially when they give the stupid muggles the opportunity to say no, and they don't say no, they do it anyway. Although, as you know, they've done everything they can to trick them and make them think that the best answer is yes, when actually the answer is no. Like I said, simple IQ test, these guys are failing. They've made a bad choice. But on the grand scheme of things, if you know the Earth is going to turn sideways and that's going to wipe out most everybody anyway, what's the matter? Right? That's how they think. Well, what matters is that each one of us is having a human experience as a spirit, as a multidimensional spiritual being that's having a very physical human experience and learning life lessons and so on in this dimension. All right. So if you wind up stopping the progress, or if you wind up making it so that these guys don't have the opportunity to continue learning and educating themselves and ascending in consciousness, just knowing more about everything, to include the spiritual nature of the being, to include law, to include the history of the planet, to all these things. And you cut that off, there is some karma there. I'm just saying. These guys think that they can avoid the karma, and they think that they can avoid the karma because they gave choice. Take the people in Hiroshima and Nagasaki, given no choice. Babies, given no choice. They were, in a blink of an eye, turned into vapor. And apparently, some of these, I don't know this for a fact, but from what I've been read and been told, that experience caused such disintegration that the disassociation for the soul was complete. Because 1 minute they were in baby body or in human body, and the next minute they were a vapor, and it was confusing to the entity. All right, bad karma, dude. The others are trying to say, the CCP and some of these others in the deep state or whatever it is, are trying to say, well, at least we're giving them a choice, right? They have a choice to say no. The result is the same, where in the physical experience comes to a halt because the physical body can no longer support the spirit that is within you, that dwells within. And it's actually a misnomer because it's the other way around. Your physical body dwells within the spirit, but let's not go there. That's a whole other video, and we can spend hours talking about, various philosophies that talk about these things. But the idea being is that from their point of view, and I get their point of view, what's it matter? You're all going to die anyway, right? It's just a matter of when and how. And there's going to be a huge cataclysm coming up here, according to, it's encoded in the pyramids. It's encoded all over the place. It's encoded on all the continents. The idea that this happens about every 12,000 years. The next time it happens, it is Leo to Cancer. And actually, there's a couple others that have come in, but these two are the major ones. The movement from Pisces to Aquarius, and the movement from, and it goes this way, right, counterclockwise, and the movement from Leo to Cancer. Those are the two times, and that's so long ago that we don't even remember how, because that was, the last 12,000 years when this happened. We just have the very remnants, and then we have all these others that are happy to tell us what it means, or they'll do the archaeology or anthropology for us and tell us all manner of lies that are just complete and utter lies, lies, and more damn lies. But if you have other people that take a look at it slightly differently, you'll see that we have been, we couldn't even figure out how to build a pyramid. A little pyramid, the Japanese tried to build a little pyramid, and they had a hell of a time with that. One of the ones on the scale of Gaza, and seems to be other pyramids way bigger than that, that they're so huge that we confuse them for mountains. In China and other places, pyramids are all over this planet, and they are very mystical things. It's a technology, and it's a technology that we obviously don't have a fucking clue about. And yet they try to lie to us and tell us that we are the highest, smartest, bestest thing that's ever been on this planet. And evidence says otherwise. But the idea is that they have in the past warned us about this transition and what happens every 12,500 years. And just like the Japanese, who after they got wiped out by tsunamis, found the stones that said, don't build anything underneath the set in stone don't build underneath this rock, right? Don't build any town or settlement below this marker. There were many of those markers in Japan. They found them after their settlements, after the people got wiped out, after the earthquakes, right? Because the Japanese people live on an island. It's a volcanic island, and they are subject to tsunamis. Okay. We're just now waking up to the fact that, it's been encoded. They've warned us in the past. We just have to have eyes to see and ears to hear. There is scripture about it. There is oral tradition about it. There is all kind of stuff. And it looks like it's pretty much coming up. And lo and behold, you and I decided to incarnate at a time so that we could see it with our own eyes. So we don't get to read about it in books. We're going to actually get to experience it. There's two ways to go about this. One way to go about it is build a house on the beach and just wait. And the day will come. The other way to go about it, and I'm not sure if I want to go about it this way, because I'm going to be old by then. That's another 25 years from now. Fuck, I don't even want to be around. I'll be like, 83? For God's sakes, that's pretty decrepit by then. Well, we'll see if I'm healthy or whatever. But the idea is that The other way to go about it is to try to survive it and build a shelter, or move to a place that you have a high better odds, let's put it that way, of surviving the cataclysm. But the cataclysm is coming. Simple as that. It's not doom and gloom. This is science, and you can go find the science for yourself. And the fact that people that talk about it get censored should be a clue right there. And the fact that a lot of the books got burned should also be a clue. Smiley faces. Okay, I'm obviously coming in the middle of something here. But yeah, so we have massive cognitive dissonance because it's the fact that that's too horrible to even comprehend. You guys are having good. See, it's a place where we can come and talk and have a good time. Don't you guys have a party to go to or something? It's 4th of July. Over here, it's 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and I'm actually by now late. So I need to get going because I'm supposed to show up. The people that did this document right here, like I said, I'll cheat and you can read it yourself. So you go to United States District Court, District of Hawaii, June 14th, 2021. Put that case number in, and it's all there. You'll have all these documents. So, can you read it? If you are so inclined, you can go find it. I am a signatory on this. I am not a what's the word? Plaintiff. And see, they immediately tried to give him DBA status and go with the name and lower his status immediately. And there are other letters that I don't have here that he got back from the court. And I'm looking for my signature because it's in here. I know it's in here someplace. But see, there's so fucking many documents. But anyway, the idea is these guys are having a little powwow, a little get-together, a little talk story. And guess what? I'm bringing a microwave so that these silly people can put all of their cell phones and other devices into that microwave and use it as a Faraday cage so we can have conversation that certain people can't listen to. Yep, there I am on this page. That's my thumbprint, my scratch. And see, there's no LS. You should have put LS because my seal is on this also. On the original document, my raised seal is there also. 3 elements to an endorsement. Anyway, so hello, I must be going. But the idea is that I'm going to probably be radio silent here for a while because I'm got to get on an airplane. Oh, so much to do there. Because all my documents are expired. So I have to go get a state ID so that, I need an ID. I need a piece of paper. I have to pay money, which is not cheap, by the way. It's like $80 or something like that just to get the little piece of plastic that says, and so, I'm going to let them know. You should probably inform liens that I'm not fucking around. The next officer that decides that I have violated statute and code and that they're going to try, I'm going to hold them liable. Right? I've known this for 20 years since I had my beefs with the IRS, but I live on an island, and why would I do this to guys that are just trying to do what they think is right? But now I've informed them that I've had enough. The day, like you all know the story if you've been to this channel, the day that they told me that I had to wear a mask while crossing the fucking street was the day that they fucking crossed the fucking line. And now their job in their house means nothing to me anymore. If you can't uphold the Constitution and you don't understand the oaths that you swore, you shouldn't have swore the fucking oaths in the fucking first place, right? Very simple. So now I'm just going to put a little document and signing statement in there with my state ID that says you should probably let the law enforcement information network know that this is one that will sue your fucking bonds if you violate due process. And you will violate due process because I noticed that almost no officers of the law show you an ID card with their picture and their name on it so that I can ascertain what duties and, what they've sworn to uphold. But the idea is that they're supposed to show you from the beginning, due process is identify themselves. Who are you? Right? Oh, I'm Officer so and so with my police department. Nope, never. They never do that. They always just, the first thing out of their mouth is, "You got ID?" Technically, no, I don't. That's not identification. That's not me. That's a piece of plastic with my picture on it. But that's not me. Anyway, yep, there you go. So that's the idea. We're going to hold them to task, and there are, in a whole state of 1 million people, there's probably 500 of us, not even, and 30 or 40 of them are in one place at one time. So, and I'm pretty confident that in that place there are going to be some agent provocateurs. So anyway, I'm just interested to go over there and see who's who and what's what and what they have to say. They're interested to see what I have to say. They're trying to make an assembly. They're also trying to make grand juries that are actual grand juries for the republic, not for the corporation. Anyway, I'm just interested to see what they have, and it's 4th of July, so even more I'm interested to see what they have to say and so on. So I'm going to cut this thing short. We're already 2 hours. I usually go a little longer than this. Hope you got something out of this. Make the statements. And I think somebody asked my appellation, Ben Hosea. My family name, Rogers. They were slaves on the Rogers Plantation in a territory called Alabama on the North American continent. I could give you my lineage, but there are dorks that would use that to try and defraud me, so I won't. But I know where I was born, which was Illinois. I know where my father was born. I know where his 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 father was born. Going back multiple generations before there was a thing called United States. In 1861, United States Corporation. In let me write it down. I wrote it down so I don't get the dates wrong. And you should fact check any fucking thing I say in the first place, because I'm just some guy on the internet. Not 1781. What was it? The Unum Sanctum. Nope, that's not it. The Unum Sanctum was 18 November, 1302. So 1-8. Anyway, I do the gematria, but you know what? Skip it. I'm trying to find it here. I believe it is anything after. Damn it! I wrote it down. Anything after 1791, I think it is de facto. I'm gonna have to go watch that again and write it down because it doesn't look like it's on here. But I'm pretty sure it was somewhere in there, 1781 or 1791. Really, I didn't write that down? I did not write that down. Okay, I don't see it here. But anyway, anything after that is de facto, right? And they've been doing, right? So if it's the courts that were set up in 1871, de facto, they're all de facto. They're not de jure. It's not republic. It's a corporation using your ignorance to extract wealth from you. And it's time that we go back to the republic. Trump was trying to get us back to the republic, which is why they hate him so much. Doesn't mean, okay, chicken farmers. I got chickens. Oh, I don't have chickens. I have a friend that has chickens. I train the chickens to go into their coop at night so they don't poop all over the place, because you leave them out at night and they get all over everything and chicken poop is everywhere. So I train them to get back in the coop. I still plan on taking their eggs. I feed them constantly. But I still plan on taking their eggs. And if we had enough of them, these guys, we don't have enough of them because we only have like a few. But if we had enough of them, I would also eat them. Right? But I'm still taking care of the chickens. I don't abuse the chickens. I don't beat them with sticks. I don't shoot them down with fire hoses. I don't, right? Any of that kind of stuff. I think it's, if you have animals, you should take care of the animals. But that doesn't mean I don't plan on taking the eggs. And if I was going to pluck the chickens, we could make pillows out of them and so forth. But that doesn't mean that I don't plan on using the chickens the way we have dominion over chickens. Same thing. I don't have cattle at the moment, but there was a time when I took care of cattle. And you take care of cattle, you water the cattle, you make sure that the cows give birth well, because sometimes they have turned and so forth. I still plan on eating the meat. Okay, that's Donald Trump. Okay, He don't love you, right? He want you prosperous. He wanted to give you jobs. He want right. Why? Because now they got taxes. Now they got license. Now they got fees. He ain't your friend. He ain't your friend. Damn it. But it's better than the alternative, and they've shown you the alternative to be what it is. And what those people are far, far worse. But you ain't got a dog in this fight. You don't have a friend in this fight. Neither one of these teams is your team. Team man and woman is not team alliance, or deep state, or the other guys. All of them want to extract wealth from us. Some of them want us to be more comfortable and more able, but they're certainly not going to educate you, and they're certainly not going to tell you about any of the things I've talked about here, hardly at all, because why would they? How does you being well versed in mathematics and history and physics and astrology and astronomy and astrology, how does that help them? It doesn't. Understanding the law, making you read this thing and understand the parables and the metaphor and so forth that's in this book. Fuck no, they don't want you knowing that stuff. Not at all. And if you think they do, I'm sorry for you. But they don't. And when I say they, I mean those people masquerading as government. I mean any one of those names that you've heard in any kind of political manner, whether it's Trump or Soros or any of the deep state players. They're not getting along right now. They're definitely fighting over the best way to go forward. And we are caught in the middle. But you pick a team, and pretty much every team you pick, or either team you pick, because it's always this, right? They're Wigmores. You have Republicans and Democrats working together to control you and extract wealth from you. Simple as that. And both Republicans and Democrats, those that are really evil need sacrifices for the people that they're the things, the entities that they serve. And these other guys want to get rid of those others because, I mean, who was it that got these things out in the first place, or rushed them out so that everybody could get them? And like I see people that have the red TDS going, oh, that's the fly in the ointment because, he's the one that brought out the almost said it, whoa, the injections for people, the jabs. The jababs. You only do that because, and here's the other thing I found out that doesn't matter what it is. AI doesn't understand sarcasm at all. They don't get it's perfect. So sarcasm is no longer the outcry of the weak. It's the code of the strong that are trying to make it so that you understand. So say the opposite of what you mean. But the idea is that they worked together to make sure that some of your friends and family members are going to go to a different place. I'll put it here afterwards underneath. Go look in there, either in the show notes or in the comments or underneath this video someplace. And I'll put Tariq his where I took these notes from. I got to watch it one more time because I didn't get all the information out of it, because the information I was looking for is not there. But the idea is that in the very near future, we have big changes, and both sides want those changes, and both sides are fine with quote unquote acceptable losses, collateral damage, basically, because they were given the choice. And since they failed the IQ test, what do you do? That's not good enough for me, because I know a lot of these people. I like a lot of these people. Some of them I absolutely despise. But even though I despise them, I still wouldn't have killed them. And I am very confident that it's not just a story. It's not just, if you if you took 3, you're going to end up somewhere on that bell curve. If you took 2, you're going to end up somewhere on that bell curve. If you took 1, you may be able to get off that bell curve and do a few things, but you're still probably never going to have any kind of offspring. And see, that's the thing. The corruption of the blood. They don't want the DNA continuing on. And then there are others that want to harvest the DNA. And then there are others that use that blood as a drug, because once they figured out how to inject it full of adrenaline and other kind of hormones that apparently it's the greatest high there is. I don't know. But the idea is that you ain't got a team here to play on. You be on your team. You be on team man, woman. You be on team humanity. And even human is a we're not semblance of man. We are men and women, and we were getting close or are getting close to leveling up. And the way you level up is with knowledge and information. The way you figure things out is by putting on the armor of God. The armor of God is not just this, it's knowledge and information. The armor of God comes out of this, right? One of these, right? There are many, many books like this that you need to read. And like I said, if you read this book, you will see what they're doing. There are many other books that dig around here. These are all my son's books. So there's like French books and stuff. But do I have any other cool ones? Most of them are in storage at this point. Like all my law books and all my dictionaries and so forth, and the Chicago manual style and so forth. But all the grammar fair and warfare books, you need to have those under your belt. And if you go take a look at our founding fathers, my girlfriend was just pointing it out to me, most of them were under the age of 21. The old ones were like 39. Jefferson at the time was like 33. These were not old, winsy men. I would be considered an old timer among them. They were educated by the time they were 25. We were dumbed down by the time we were 25. So you need to educate yourself and educate your others. I'm not Hawaiian. I'm in Hawaii. What do we got going on over here? We got a lot going on. All right. Yeah, see, that's the idea. But see, can't tell these people anything. They're already smarter than us because they watch news, right? So you can give them facts. Like I just asked this one person, what's your favorite ingredient in the vaccine? Oh, fuck, I just did it. Anyway, hopefully that skips by because we're 2:17 in. But anyway, what's your favorite ingredient? They don't know. They don't know what's in it, right? Have you read any studies? Have you done? Nope, 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 nope. They're just blind obedience, and blind obedience has caused their downfall, their demise. But you can't show them math. You can't anything. So you just gotta let go and let be. But getting angry over it and losing your light over it because you want to go do vengeance, or you want to go, it says clearly, all vengeance is mine. It is not given unto us for vengeance. So let those that yeah, I know. It's like Monty Python, isn't it? Anyway, I mean, they've got us to the point where it's just so ridiculous. But the idea is that, they have boxed themselves into a corner. The others who blindly obeyed are now starting to realize, oh shit. And actually, for the most part, no, they're not. I think it's going to be a few more weeks before they go, uh-oh. And they start to realize that, no, we're not talking shit. No, they don't know what they did to themselves. They don't know what's in there. Now I'm starting to see, I mean, go look at some of the last few videos from SGT Report. See, and they didn't harm me and they didn't harm mine because we wouldn't say yes. But anybody that did say yes, and pilots, oh my fucking God. And see, what are they going to do? They're going to make it hard to get around, right? They're through with being cool. Go listen to that song by Devo. But, everything that's happening now is in that song from the 80s. The fact that, what is it? Put the tape on erase, rearrange your face. We always like Picasso anyway. Now I have ears to hear what that says. They're not fooling. They've had this plan for quite some time. They planned on having a little more seamless and a little more easy to execute the plan, but they weren't planning on us being able to talk to each other and being able to use these devices that were supposed to be for our control and to give them even more ability to control our minds. And instead, some of us managed to figure out how to use this internets to trade information. And see, a lot of you guys were under the mistaken belief that they couldn't control or censor the net. And technically, that's true because there's always Wayback Machines, there's always screenshots, but then it's getting access to that information in the first place because most people don't look at the Wayback Machine, and most people don't look at. I mean, if it's gone, it's gone. And how many people have been taken off of this platform, taken off of Twitter, taken off of whatever the fuck it is, and you just don't hear from them anymore. I can't think of any names at the moment, but there's a couple of people that I used to like to listen to what they had to say. There were actual media people, journalists and so forth, that decided that they weren't going to be part of the plan or weren't going to be working for the big boys. And of course, they got squished and moved. And now a couple of them, I haven't seen any of their work for days. Even Alex, I Told You So Jones, right? I hardly see his stuff. Once in a while, I see his stuff. But for a while there, I didn't see anything from him. And see, that was a gatekeeper. But he was telling you everything he told you 20 years ago is coming to pass. Is it not? I can't remember the guy. There's another guy who basically was talking about the traffic and so forth, especially of children. And they just squished that guy down. And what was the guy? Ben... oh, crap. I can't remember the guy's name. He had a YouTube presence for a while and went off on his own, and they squished him also. But I mean, the idea was to use this platform or use the internet to communicate, and we have, and they lost control of it, and that way they haven't got the huge numbers because they had figured that they would be able to use blockchain technology and all this stuff to absolutely subjugate all of us. And instead, we figured out how to Tai Chi a lot of it and make it so that we inform and enlighten, we free ourselves from their central banking, etc. And that's the idea is instead of getting violent, they know what to do with violence. They know what to do if you decide to act violently, but they don't know what to do with Tai Chi. They don't know when you start using their own stuff against them. So the idea is stay on your square. But that doesn't mean that you're a doormat. That doesn't mean that you don't send paperwork in. That doesn't mean that you don't stand up for yourself. That just means that you don't have to go out and do violence. There will be plenty of others that will do violence, and you can just, like I said, stay out of the way. Because do you really think that you're going to ascend, if you believe in that concept, by doing violence? Do you? Do you think that violence is going to get you ascension? Do you think that doing violence and causing others harm or loss, even if they, quote unquote, deserve it for the things that they've done, do you really think that's going to help you ascend? Just meditate on that. All right. Like I said, I can keep going because I'm kind of putting it off because I'm not sure if I want to go to this thing or not. Because the last thing, I don't go to meetings. I don't go to meetings. I could be a very, very, very wealthy man if I would just go to the meetings. But Grandma said, don't be a joiner. So, e pluribus unum, ladies and gentlemen, Crime Stoppers out there everywhere. Spread the word out there that common law or contract. Oops, it's not there anymore. The age of Pisces is coming to an end sooner than later. And the sooner you decide to just say no and to stand up for yourself and just get on your square and to basically make the declarations of your manhood or womanhood, the sooner we move into the age of Aquarius. The light of Aquarius cannot be extinguished. We can't go back. They're losing their power and control. And the faster we help them lose that power and control by just ignoring them and saying no and not allowing them to do the things that they do, not by violent aggression, but by just non-compliance. I mean, just saying no. Bartleby Scribbner, I prefer not to. Nope, won't do it. Just by doing that. And then Cliff I talks about just being a thorn in their side by if you know it's a deep stater or if you know it's a Democrat or if you know it's somebody that's suppressing or oppressing you or your rights, because they come into your coffee shop with the uniform, the TSA or whatever, well, make them a latte, but just, make it the best latte you've ever made. And it shouldn't take you a half hour, 45 minutes. Make them a sandwich, right? But it takes you, an hour to make that sandwich. Make them a whatever it is. You don't say no, but you can harass and do non-compliance. Anyway, go watch the Cliff High videos. He talks about ways to resist nonviolently. But the idea is that you just make it so that because they want violence. They want you to strike out against them. They know how to handle that. And then they have every manner of law ready to be slapped upon you to combat this crazy violence. Because you'll see it. If you look on Facebook and other places, like, oh, the extremists, they're expecting, right? Because, they're about to be exposed for what comes, because what's happening in Arizona will not be denied. The math is plain and simple, and how it is that that information hasn't been acted upon by certain members of our armed forces, I don't know. But I know that the armed forces, the military, absolutely freaking knows, has all the data. It's not conspiracy theory. They have this data right here, every bit of it. All the stuff that's written over there, if they wanted it, they could get to it. So all the stuff that happened back during the election that we had, they have that data. So when action happens, I don't know. I had expected it. I absolutely expected it to happen before this. In fact, months ago. I don't expect it anytime soon, because so much, I see how much has to happen and how much has to unwind, but it's going to happen. What is going on right now is an incredible reality TV show. And see, this is the thing. They're concerned that more people will figure out that it's a show. And what is it that the guy at X22 talks about? Optics are important. They are important because it keeps you in the game. Otherwise, you guys might revolt. And those of you thinking that there's going to be a revolt, there's not going to be any kind of slave rebellion. You can already tell that. In fact, there are so many of them. At this late date, they still haven't woken up, right? They're never going to, until it's like too late. Maybe, on their deathbed, maybe the day before, and then by then it's too late. What are they going to do about it? They wake up for like 24 hours. Yay. And see, this is the thing. That's why you don't want to end their progression, because even if they just wake up 5 minutes before they leave this corporal prime material plane that we're on, great. Then they have an opportunity to progress, right? But if you cut them off before they make that realization here in now time, that's on you. So don't cut them off, because up until the very last minute, they can still wake up, if that's the word we want to use. They can still have realization. They can still ask for forgiveness. They can still repent. They can still, right? So it's not up to us to end their progress. That's as best as I can say it. Because I know quite a few people now who are angry. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't be angry, and I'm not saying that these guys don't deserve to be held to account and deserve to be held liable. What I am saying is it's not up to you to do violence on these people that quote unquote deserve it. All right. Because then you lose your light, and then you don't progress, and then you have to ask for forgiveness, and then you wind up in a state of karma that you don't understand and don't want to be in, because you think you're doing right, or you think you're doing good things, when in fact you're doing harm. And I agree. Believe me, I've had numerous arguments, and I wouldn't call them arguments, debates and conversations with regard to the fact that, if we don't do something about them, they will continue to do. But the idea is, and Tolkien, who told you about Midgard, told you about Middle Earth, told you the story in 100% metaphor. If anytime you knock down a Dark Lord, another one will rise. Simple as that. There's no end to it, right? You knock down one, another rises. You knock down one, another rises. And it's true that if you get, say, a pedophile now, and when I say get, you know what I mean, he will not be able to do more bad works on others, or the disgusting things that these people do to children, and that's equity, right? You're not punishing the past; you're preventing what happens in the future. Law punishes the past. Equity prevents, right? A genius avoids the situation in the first place, right? Doesn't fix the situation. He gets into a position where he's avoided the situation. So that's the position you want to be. Be a genius. Be the person that figures out how to get these others to destroy themselves, the evil ones. And they will destroy themselves by doing harmful things to such large numbers that, like I said, if only a small percentage of them decide to hold them liable and not sit there waiting for judgment in another life or something else, we're going to be rid of most of this one time, and we will get a balance restored, because we are out of balance right now. I don't have to spend much time talking about that, I don't think, because we are completely and utterly out of balance right now. It's upside down world. Everything has gone crazy. From I can go to, the list is long. Just go look at California. Go look at any of the Democrat states. It's upside down world. It's clown world, and we are going to restore that balance for a little while. And see, that's the test. That's the thing that's going on right now. You've got the yin and the yang. You can't have all yin. You can't have all yang. It's supposed to be a balance, and we're out of balance. But see, in that left-hand, right-hand path thing we've got going on, you have to decide, are you gonna dip into the left-hand path to just because you can justify it, because these people have done atrocious things, or are you going to stay on the right-hand path? Are you going to stay on your square? And if you step off your square, you are subject to law and equity. Simple as that. So again, I admonish you, stay on your square, right? Okay, for sure. Now I'm out. 100 Monkey out. Yeah, there were other things I wanted to talk about, but we'll skip it. It may be a while because, like I said, I got to take all the rest of my stuff, pack it up, stick it in a storage unit, get on an airplane, got to get an ID, got to get rid of a car, got to get, I got all the stuff you got to do when you're moving. There are a couple people on here that have done it, moved from state to state. And I'm not technically moving, like I said, because I plan on definitely coming back. I was planning on keeping my address here, but everybody at the freaking postal shop that I use for my address decided that this would be a grand idea. So it's not long before there's nobody to run the freaking place. So I don't know how I'm going to get my mail forwarded. So I'm going to have to change address, and that's going to be annoying. But the idea is that I plan on, I'm a Maui boy. I've always been a Maui boy. Didn't matter how much money I had. I was a Maui boy. When I was broke, I was a Maui boy. When I was rich, I was a Maui boy. I'm still a Maui boy. But Maui has made it impossible. So before I don't follow my own advice and start doing violence to some of these ignorants, I'm going to just go to a place where they're not wearing masks. And Arizona is one of them. Texas is one of them. Florida is one of them. And also, I'm expecting here in the very near future that they're going to come up with more variants and more reasons to go back to the way it was, because they tried the first time, failed, and that doesn't mean they're going to quit trying. Understand that their freaking motto is deny and defend until the end. And they have a very nefarious game plan, and they're not going to quit trying to implement it until such time as they can't. And when they can't is when there aren't any of them left to try and implement the plan. And that's going to happen when the many that have been harmed now decide to do something. Oh, look, it's 4th of July, a couple fireworks going off. I suggest you go out and do the same. Blow some fireworks, have a good time, enjoy some friends and family, and I will talk to you as soon as I'm able. And maybe I'll just make a couple of short ones just for fun, as like a video blog of the transition from here to there. Anyway, e pluribus unum. I'll talk to you soon, Crime Stoppers. Enjoy yourselves. Happy 4th of July.